Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We would like to introduce Recipio, a tool that's going to make cooking on a budget very easy. Did you know that the average European household spends 450 euros a month on food alone? Now, if we were talking about families of four, this average goes up to 800 euros a month. Food is the second largest expense of European households. And with Recipio, we help you cut that cost down by up to 20%. So if you're like most people and you're trying to save money on food, you're probably shopping the sales. And you're wasting a lot of time trying to figure out what to cook with these cheap ingredients. Also, you probably want to get the best deal, so you might be comparing sales flyers from different supermarkets. But let's be honest, you're never gonna find the best deal by yourself. And that is where Recipio comes in. Recipio compares all the sales from all the different supermarkets, making sure you always get the best deal. And not only that, Recipio also creates recipes out of these cheap ingredients. So Recipio not only saves you a lot of money, but also a lot of time and energy. It is extremely convenient. On the European market right now, there are some apps that are comparing discounts among different supermarkets, but what we provide is a unique, all-in-one food solution. So, how does this look in practice? Well, let's look at Petra, for example. She is a stay-at-home mom, and she cooks every day for her husband and 3 kids. They only live on one income, so they don't have a lot of money, but they are a family of 5, so their spending on food was around 900 euros a month. With Recipio, we can help her save about 20%, and that amounts to almost 2,000 euros per year, and that is a family vacation right there. Another potential user is Jakub. He is a university student, and, well, like most of us, he lives on an extremely tight budget. Every euro counts. And he used to spend about 250 a month. And with Recipio, again, he can save about 20%, which is about 600 euros a year. And that is more than a month's rent for a university student. So right now, you're probably thinking, well, this sounds great. Sounds awesome. But how do you actually achieve this? How do you really do it? Well, my colleague will tell you.
So, our solution is a smart recipe planner that uses data scraped from supermarket promotions and the power of generative AI to give each user recipes tailored to their preferences and based around discounted items. Together, they can form weekly meal plans and shopping lists. So, what does the typical customer journey look like? Well, say you're the type of person who lives on a tighter budget and is looking for any way to save money. Or maybe the money is not the main issue, but rather, time-wise, you already have enough on your plate, pun intended, and you don't want to waste time thinking of what to cook next or where to go to get the best deals. Recipio is here to help both. Simply go to our website, pick your preferences, those being your favorite shops, what's the maximum amount of shops you're willing to visit, what's the ideal meal prep time, and perhaps some special dietary needs. And once selected, Recipio will generate recipe suggestions tailored to your needs, and it's for meals that can specifically be cooked using ingredients available on a discount in selected supermarkets. As mentioned, together they form weekly meal plans and shopping lists, allowing each user to save both money and time on a weekly basis. Now, why did we choose to start this project? First, prices are rising. And unfortunately, that goes for groceries as well. But that's the one thing you have to buy at some point. Further, people already try to work around and with discounts, but they either don't do it smartly or it's a bit of a time-consuming headache, so to speak. But most importantly, as mentioned by my colleague earlier, there currently exists no service on the continental European market that combines recipe generation and meal planning with discounts. So there's a potential profitable market gap here we can fill. But don't just take our word for it. Apps as such as, or services as such as we're describing do exist abroad, namely Americas and partially UK, to a great success. For example, Yumli sold to Kraft Heinz for about $100 million. And Flip is used by millions across Canada. As for business model, we would start off with revenue from ads. Speaking of business, let's talk a bit about that. First, market size. Using data from Eurostat, we estimated about 230 million people across Europe that could be potential users of our service. That is, people who already live on a tighter budget, cannot deal with unexpected expenses, and also usually have to take care of the kids. We would start off with basic 5-second skippable ads combined with some type of banner ads on our website. Now, for an optimistic scenario, higher estimate is about 13 euros from 1,000 impressions on the skippable ads. If we were to get just 10% of the targeted market, that's 23 million people, to use our service, say, once a week, that's already about 1.2 million euros a month from the skippable ads alone, and potential another almost 800,000 euros from the banner type ads. Now, of course, this is an optimistic scenario. We're aware of that. But it shows the potential of Recipio as a worthy endeavor, and we believe that with some hard work, it could be achievable in the future. Recipio, plan smarter, cook cheaper. That's all for us. We thank you for your attention. Hope you liked our pitch, and we're ready to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you for a great presentation. You are investors, and it's last series of questions before the lunch.
Yeah. So, what's the source of the discount?
Right now, in the demo version, we were thinking with data scrapped from Action supermarket flyers, you probably all know. But in the future expansion, we plan to add on to that other sources, such as, for example, scrapping directly from, like some of the supermarkets have e-shop sites, so something like that.
So these are only public discounts, not the silent discounts running in markets.
Right now, the public type, yes.
Okay.
What do you mean by silent discounts?
Yeah, there are discounts that are not promoted. So
Okay, okay.
I would just asking if you buy the data from the companies or the
No,
supermarkets.
not yet. But in the future, it is a possibility. Yeah.
Okay, and you are now focusing on the Czech market, right? As the first market to start with.
It's highly possible we will start off with Czech market since it's the easy option. But considering by our estimates that the customer base in Czech Republic might be kind of small, that's why we're already planning to target the European market in general.
Because like Czech people are now buying in discounts a lot. So what's the benefit for them using this app only to get the recipe with the information? Because I think now the planning of lunch is like, what's in the discount? I will cook from this.
Yes, but by yourself, you don't really save that much. We create recipes that are created around the discounted ingredients, which means like 80% of the cost of food you can buy on a discount. I don't think it's achievable by yourself unless you're spending huge amounts of time on it. Yeah.
And from what source you have the recipes? Like there is a community who is making them?
Right now, we actually are using ChatGPT AI generation to generate the recipes, and it's working very well at the moment.
We have a very detailed prompt telling it what to do.
My main question is, in which phase are you with the app? Because that wasn't mentioned in presentation. Like, is it finished? You are in testing phase, or?
We are almost finished, I would say. All we have to do is just integrate the different parts of the data process, so to speak. So, for example, the front-end app right now runs on sample data, but we already have this data created in the backend. The only thing we didn't manage to do during the development so far is basically connecting backend to the front end.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about an end user, and so you've described as the app, you've described as how you would generate money from it. Sounds like there's a lot of ads. And one thing I don't think we've heard is how will you convince those users to actually choose your app, download it, and use it? And second, that's one question. And second is, I understood that you're getting the data from multiple like supermarkets, and how does that average person, how are they supposed to like travel around all of the supermarkets to get discounted butter and like, you get my point. So how is that optimized? Can you choose location?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Exactly. Yeah. On our website, you can select which stores you like shopping. So basically, which are close to you, and you can also select how many stores are you willing to go to if you want to just save as much money as possible, or if you want all ingredients in one store. Yeah. Could you repeat the first question?
Yes, sure. So how do you convince the end users to actually use it?
We were thinking influencer marketing. It is very popular right now. That fitness influencers recommend their followers how to save money on food, how to cook healthy and cheap and stuff like that. So we think that is where we could shine.
Maybe follow-up question. Did you analyze the audience before it? Because as you know, we have also physical leaflets in supermarket, and we know that older generations still prefer these kind of leaflets. So did you do some analyze how the online leaflets are read or something similar?
We didn't get far to do thorough research, but that's the one point we already went in thinking that the older generation, the one that's mostly into discount, would probably not be the ones who would be willing to go ahead and try this modern new app. So instead, we believe that one key audience that could, for one, also be interested in such a service, and for two, be willing to try it out, is university students in general.
Okay, thank you.
I will ask about income. You mentioned that you will have income from ads, and is there any other way where you will get income?
Yes, so we started off with ads as a baseline because that seems like the most obvious and simple thing to do. But we also have plans to, at some point, include some sort of freemium-based model. That means users could pay premium to pay for some like more advanced functions and features. We're too early in development to already have in mind the specific premium features, but we're definitely thinking down the road we could do that.
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.